Hey, we're live on the air here at the Painfully Honest live channel for the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. Good evening, friends and neighbors. So nice to see you all again. Yeah. Uh, my name's Jason. You guys know that, I think. Uh, Host of the most I don't know. I Painfully Honest Tech channel, you know that stuff too. Who and tonight I have guesting in the co-pilot seat our good man Vyyyper, the man about tech, the captain of Team Apple. Vyyyper, how you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm great, Jason. How you doing?
It's good. It's good. You know, I'm it's been a long week.
Yeah.
It's only Tuesday. uh I'm having that like super senioritis where I don't really want to go to my job anymore. And I'm just kind of like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. But I have to go at least to a certain extent. So that's what I've been doing. Let's see what else. I mean, there's been so much going on since the last time we spoke. Uh Galaxy Galaxy Fold got taken away from people.
It did.
And yet for some reason they still posted reviews.
Yeah, I am not too sure why people are posting Galaxy Fold reviews. I would understand better if you like wanted to put out like initial impression videos, which a lot of people did, and things like that. Maybe talk about your favorite features of the device, things like that. But posting an actual review of a product that the public will never see kind of perplexes me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know how to approach reviewing a phone like that. Like, okay, I have to send this back to them tomorrow and we'll likely never see it again. But let me tell you what I think about it. It it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. I haven't watched any of the videos just because I felt like they were going to be sad, and so I didn't want to make myself sad. I didn't want to feel sad for all those people who got the phones and then, you know, they uh they had to send them back. I like Matthew Monus's title. They took my Galaxy Fold. Uh Sean Williams says Lou acted like he had a death in the family when he had to give it up. Lou was making bank off those videos, man. He was cranking them out. He was just a Galaxy Fold machine.
I mean, but Lou has been cranking out videos like that regardless, though. He's been cranking them out like one every other day, it seems like. And he has a second channel now, so he's really been cranking them out.
Yeah, I like how he started his own late night talk show.
So. Right, yep. I mean, I get it because when he tried to put that content on the main channel, people were complaining. They were like, where's the unboxing stuff? So I guess I can understand why he made a second channel for that.
Does he ever unbox anything on Unbox Therapy anymore?
every now and then he does unbox them. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I did sort of unbox the gaming headset that I reviewed earlier this week. I did a video just getting first impressions, blah blah blah. But before that, I can't remember the last time I unboxed anything. It seems it seems like the fetishes is gone.
I used to like enjoy or want. I shouldn't say it like that. I used to want to do unboxing videos, but they kind of seem like everybody does them, and it seems like they're kind of bland and whatnot. So now what I do is I just mix them into a regular video. I mean, I unbox the product and I go into the normal video that I would go into with the unboxing included. So that's how I do it now.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to hear this. Okay, let's get this bad boy open. That's one thing that's going to be said in an unboxing video.
Yep.
And then you're going to have the peeling of the plastic, and that's going to be a thing. And then you're going to have like, oh, and there's the phone / laptop / whatever it is. We'll take that out and put it to the side. See what else we have in the box. As if that's like building suspense for the thing that you're unboxing. And everybody's like, so this looks like papers I'll never read, and then they toss them flippantly to the side. I mean, Flossie's been doing that for many a year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like imitation is the kind of is a form of flattery, I guess. And then they'll say, here's the power cable. And then, okay, we'll go back to whatever it is that I just took out of the box and put to the side.
Exactly, right?
Yes.
Typical unboxing.
Yeah, it's like, and then it's like, oh, this is nice. I don't have anything to say about it since I just took it out of the box. And so I'll just make another video when I know what I'm talking about.
Yep. So going back to the Galaxy Fold, though, like I said, I don't understand why there are review videos out there. Like, why are you reviewing a product that the public will never see? Obviously, Samsung is going to go back and change the product. And like Jason said, we will never see the Galaxy Fold again in its current state or the way that we saw it before.
Just remember that, people. I said it before it happened.
And Jason is now living in the back cave because we can't see him. But it's okay. It's all right.
Earn it. There we go.
There he is.
My camera timed out or something.
That's been happening to me a lot too on Google Hangouts. Like, it will just turn off inexplicably. It's not the camera, just that Hangout turns the camera off.
Well, my camera goes dark every once in a while, but it's never done it when I'm hooked up to HDMI. I think the HDMI port on this camera is going because it's working right now. And I'm just not going to even think about it. And, pray to the old gods that it just stays on.
Yeah, I blame Hangout, but hey.
Yeah. Well, I know there's something funky going on with this with this camera, which bums me out. I mean, it's not a cheap camera, but it's not a professional camera.
Right.
I'm using a consumer camera as a professional camera, and so that's what I get.
Mm-hmm. So actually, the last time we talked was last week on this podcast. So I was here with you and Zach last week, and you made the bold proclamation that we will never see the Galaxy Fold in the same state, which you are correct. And we also came to the realization that if Samsung can't re-release the Fold by early July, then we won't see it again. We won't see it in 2019. They will have to wait till 2020. So this lends even more credence to the why are they putting out reviews of a product that we might not even see this year. Like, it might not be back this entire calendar year, but they're putting reviews out on it. It's just like, y'all crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised to see who was putting the reviews out too. Like, I could see if there was somebody who's like a mid-level YouTuber who was fortunate enough to get the phone and wanted to get them sweet views. But Marquez made already a bunch of videos about it, and yet he put out a review, which I don't understand. I don't understand. I didn't watch the video because why would I watch a video about a phone that nobody's ever going to get? But again, it's just weird. It's just weird. What are they going to say? Man, this could have been really nice, except for it broke all over the place, and now it's...
And we have to give it back.
And now we have to give it back.
We have to give it back, right? We have to return it.
Man, I don't think Marquez is sweating the AdSense dollars, though. The AdSense dollars are probably just like paying his taxes.
Basically.
That guy's rolling in the deep when it comes to the cash money. So
yeah, no doubt. So that leads us to the beast with 40 eyes, aka the iPhone 11, which is pretty much finalized at this point. I'm of the mindset that any leaks that we see about the iPhone 11 from now on are pretty much accurate, because now is the time where the iPhone goes into production anyway. So there's not too many more changes that you can make to it. So it's definitely looking like it's gonna look like a Huawei Mate phone, which is interesting.
Here's what's really funny to me, or interesting. Let's not say funny. We'll say interesting. back there was a time when iPhone leaks, like a leak of a design or something like that, people would go crazy and just be like, "Oh my god, oh my god," and oh my god. Now it's people are just like, "Oh, that sucks." And is there anybody looking at that phone design and just being like, "Oh, I win"? That is
No,
so awesome.
Jason, not if they're painfully honest. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, there's nobody is excited for that design. Nobody is excited for that design. This is the iPhone. This is the EYE phone. You know, I don't know. Is it like, are they trying to make an insect-like phone?
I don't know. So Bob in the chat wants to know, we're talking about leaks, right? Bob, at this point, they're not really leaks per se anymore. I mean, they're leaks, yes, but like I said, the iPhone is going into production, so the leaks are going to be pretty damn accurate right now. So
yeah, I think at this point, anything that we've seen, the design that we've been seeing has been pretty consistently this design.
yeah,
Since we started seeing any kind of conceptual design. And it's ugly. It's freaking like, your cousin, like the cousin that you don't want to go to something with.
it's not very pretty. It's not pretty at all. No.
And I mean, people have complained about the camera bump. I mean, what's the camera? Look at this. Okay, so this is just, we got two lenses right here, right?
Right.
We're gonna multiply that by probably this much more.
Yeah, we get like a whole like little square in the back of the iPhone. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Well, you'll never look at the back of your phone anyway," and that's true. But still,
But that's not the point. That's not, you're not, who cares if you're not going to look at the back of your phone? It's like, well, I don't look at my ass either, so I don't want it to look good. I don't need it to look
good. Touche.
I don't care what my ass looks like. I'm never going to see it. It's no, I mean, it's just bad design. It's just awful, horrible design. It's like the iPhone developed polyps. It's like a medical condition. It's so ugly.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. And the interesting thing is that today was Apple's earnings call.
Oh,
which kind of interesting. They reported I think a 5% decrease year over year for iPhone sales. So I mean, it's not going to get any better. I mean, they're going to report another loss this time next year. So I mean,
well, that's 5% over 17% overall, because they're down 17% over the course of however many past years. So yeah, I am quitting Apple, but as a YouTuber, as a guy who is on the YouTube and talks about smartphones, I have to have a Samsung device or some sort of Android device, and I have to have an iPhone because I often get asked to make videos specifically related to those things.
Oh, I forgot you did make that video. They're going to light you up, man. They're going to light you up.
Oh, they already lit me up. I mean, it's just, whatever. So I'm on a PC right now. Does that make everyone happy?
Probably not you.
No, it's actually been really great. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. But the thing is, like, yeah, I've gotten frustrated with Apple for those specific reasons that are tied to my overall experience with Apple. And so it's both emotional as much as anything else.
So we have Genosis, and he doesn't understand why you switched to Windows. He said, "Did you find something specifically wrong with Mac OS?"
Nothing specifically wrong with Mac OS, no. But it's more like I just don't like the direction that Apple's going in general. And I don't want to be on board a sinking ship. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And Windows has come a long, long way. There used to be a time when you really couldn't use Windows for creative stuff, video editing, music, and all that kind of stuff. There just wasn't the same kind of ecosystem on Windows. But now there is. Now you can do it. And the philosophies between how Windows works and how iPhones work or Apple works are more stark than ever before. Apple glues everything down, and with Windows you can put whatever parts in you want, unless you're buying a laptop, and then you can at least probably upgrade the RAM and the storage. So
did you say that Apple is a sinking ship? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
You think that Apple is a sinking ship right now? Right this
yeah. I think if we're to put it in Titanic terms, they'd have hit the iceberg, but nobody really realizes how serious it is yet. Like, the next step is the boat breaks in half.
You realize that Apple recorded an $11 billion profit today, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that people are going to still want to keep buying their products if they continue to suck.
Yeah, but you're saying Apple is a sinking ship. Sinking ships don't make $11 billion in profit, though, Jason.
Sure they do. As like, of course they do, if they are just not yet at the apex point of their, it's like Apple's climbing the last hump. When they get over that last hump and start going downhill, then as much momentum as they have going up, they're going to have more coming down. And so I really do think that they're in trouble. They're in serious trouble.
All right. Okay. So I'll give you the fact that iPhone sales are decreasing year over year. We know that, and everybody knows that. But to say that the entire company as a whole is a sinking ship, you might want to pump the brakes on that one, especially when their services revenue is going on the up and up.
The services are just they're just desperate ploy to like grab onto something now that everything that they've made their money on is like starting to produce fewer profits.
You realize their services install base for just Apple devices is 1.4 billion alone, right? And we're not even talking about there are other services that are outside of the Apple system. We're talking about just in the Apple system, they have 1.4 billion devices out there that they can get services off of, Jason.
Yeah, they have to make services that people want. How many people do you think signed up for News Plus after the 30-day period was up?
Okay, he said after the day. I was gonna say I did initially, but I canceled it.
No, nobody gives a shit about that.
But some people do though. Some people are going to keep it though.
Yeah, and then you're gonna pay, what is it?
$9.99 a month.
$9.99 a month for that, and $9.99 a month for iTunes, and then whatever apps you have that have continuing subscription rates, and then you're gonna want to get the Apple TV stuff. And no, I think that they're getting to the point where they're trying to do too much without enough ideas. That's my whole thing. Roberto here says, facts, 3 generations of failed butterfly keyboards. That is embarrassing, even to the point of just making me ill. The garbage phone for 2019, yes. Failed customer service on iMac Pro, yes. It's a sinking ship on quality control, like John Prosser keeps saying. Revenue, and yeah, he's like, revenue doesn't necessarily mean anything. Revenue says you did well this year, but what does it forecast for you in the next 5? I mean,
Okay.
I feel like Apple is out of ideas.
Okay, you all make very good point, but like I said, I think it's a little premature to call Apple a thinking ship. little premature.
Well,
We
think
ain't
about it
there
this
yet.
way. Let's take the butterfly keyboard thing.
Mm-hmm.
The butterfly keyboard, okay, fails once, try again. It fails a second time, admit that you screwed it up and go back and do something that works. Yeah, look at the Mac Pro. The Mac Pro is like, I still see Phil Schiller on the stage when they announced that. He's like, can't innovate anymore, my a-hole. And then they just design themselves into a thermal black hole, and they haven't been able to upgrade that computer for 6 years. It's still the same exact computer, and they're still charging $3,000 for it.
Yeah, and we still haven't seen the updated version, which we were supposed to see last year, I think. And
It was originally last year, and then they said 2019.
And now we're here, and still no sign of the Mac Pro yet.
No. And again, I think the idea that they have, the sort of modular Mac Pro, where if you're doing X kind of work, then you can buy this kind of module to go with the rest of the stuff. And I think it's going to look basically like Mac Minis, and then you can stack them, right? So if you're doing heavy graphics work, you can buy like a particular kind of graphics module or whatever. But I don't see any way, given the failures that they've had innovating, quote unquote, in the last, ever since Steve Jobs died. I don't see them pulling this one out.
You realize that Apple doesn't typically innovate, though, right?
They do. They have their name was built. Their big name products were built on ideas that if they weren't original to Apple, Apple made them more than they were at the moment that they introduced, like the iPod, right? The iPod was revolutionary because of the way that it worked. It wasn't the first MP3 player.
Correct.
But it was the one that became ubiquitous. The iPhone wasn't the first smartphone.
No, it wasn't.
But it was the one that was the easiest to use, and it became the standard for a while. So I think it's what they're able to do with stuff that's already going on. You can innovate without being the genesis of something. You know what I'm saying? I think that you can innovate, like the iMac, the original iMac. Think about what was on. Okay, some people might not remember this, but everything that was going on with Apple at the time, and everything that was going on in like desktop computing at the time that the first iMac came out, was you had beige plastic boxes, right? Big CRT screens that were ugly. Apple at that time, under John Scully, was selling iOS or Mac OS to third-party vendors so they could make their own Mac computers, which is the complete antithesis of the Apple way of doing things. And they were terrible. And Apple stock was in the toilet, but the iMac wasn't the first desktop computer, but it was the first time that Steve Jobs got really close to that idea of the personal computer being an appliance that can help people, with their daily lives and look good doing it. So I just don't see them. I don't see them succeeding at the same pace that they have in the past. I mean, if you can look back to almost exactly 2011 and say, since that time, they have not succeeded in like as much a at as much a clip, I guess.
No,
as they
you're
did
right.
before.
But I need to correct Greg Gadget here real quick. He said iPads are selling at an all-time high because of the iPad Pros. I don't think it's the iPad Pros. It's because of that entry-level iPad they introduced last year. That's why they're selling it at all-time high.
Yeah, I mean, I think that not, and I'm not saying they haven't done some good stuff. I think offering an iPad at like $300 price range, I think that's brilliant. I think that's the way that they get more devices into more hands.
Yeah.
But which is, I mean, they're going to have to rebuild a user base. They're going to have to rebuild a user base, and they're going to have to rebuild their entire image, really, because the conventional wisdom on Apple is already trending in tech circles. Apple is becoming a joke, right? And so if it's trending that way in the sort of in the node circles, it's eventually going to trickle out. People are going to start to become increasingly dissatisfied to the point of like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And it might not happen tomorrow, and it might not happen, next year. But over the next 5 years, I see Apple. Well, in 2 years, I see Tim Cook being fired. And then I see a desperate attempt to kind of like get the mojo back.
Wait. Okay. Now I got to stop you. Did you just say that Tim Cook will be fired in 2 years? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
You think Tim Cook, who made this company more money than they could ever dream of, is going to be fired in 2 years?
Money is great, but money is not why people buy Apple gadgets.
No, but the company's number one goal above all else is to make money. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
but
equity does better than anything.
but what gets them the money is I guess the good faith of their customers, and the good faith of their customers is very slowly starting to be more quickly eroded.
I mean, okay. So we can't ignore the recent product quality control failures and things like that. But the iPhone 10R is still the best selling smartphone around right now. So you don't know if the customer faith is eroding that quickly.
Yeah, nobody's buying the iPhone 10R because it's a great phone.
No,
they're buying it because it's cheap.
but they're buying it. They are buying it. There are other options out there that are cheap, Jason, but they're buying the iPhone 10R.
Yeah, but really, like, since the iPhone 10R has been released, so it was released in November?
October.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so since the iPhone 10R was released, what competition has it had in like the name brand phone lines at that price point?
The only competition and name brand was the Samsung S10e. I don't know how much.
Yeah, but that just came out 2 months ago.
Yeah, but right now that's a direct competition. Oh, you mean at that time period? It didn't really have any competition at that time period except for the OnePlus.
Right. So they've got since the Galaxy S10e came out in March, that gives the iPhone 10R 5 months of a head start, almost half a year head start on selling phones.
Do you really believe it would have mattered if the S10e came out at the same time, Jason? Do you really think it would have mattered?
Well,
no. Let me answer for you. No, it wouldn't have mattered, Jason. You know better. Don't even start. Come on now.
I'm sorry, man. I think the 10R is a good phone, but nobody's out there thinking like, man, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and I just have to have it.
The issue that I'm having with you guys in the chat and Jason tonight is that while yes, I agree with you all that the products are not what they used to be, and the quality control is failing, the Apple ecosystem is still undefeated. And until somebody defeats it, Apple will continue to sell products no matter how good or bad they are. And they will continue to have the best-selling smartphone because the Apple ecosystem is undefeated.
Okay. I'm going to get to that. Put a pin in it. First, Roberto asked a question earlier. He said, do either of you believe the iPhone will be the bestseller in 2019 flagship phones.
Yes, easily.
Okay. I don't know if I'm as confident as you.
What gonna sell more than the iPhone in 2019? What? I'm waiting.
I mean, Samsung has made one of the best phones
No,
they've ever made.
no. What do you mean? No.
Unless it's just that like people who buy the iPhone will always buy the iPhone, and so there's no way for people to there's no way to make a move laterally to another company in such a way that it would make a big enough impact on their sales. I don't know. I mean,
So,
at
so
some
you go ahead.
at some point they've got to quit releasing ugly, just like half-baked pieces of crap and start building things that they built their entire name on. They built their name on being, a premium product made in a premium way that demanded a premium price, and people were happy to pay it because it was better than everything else. But it's not. But Apple's products are not better than everything else now.
You know what? Apple product in a vacuum may not be better, but the ecosystem and the way they work together is still better than anything out there on the market.
But here's the thing: they've basically decided to ignore the computer market, right? They've basically, of course, I think I saw a graph yesterday that the computer market for Apple makes up like 8% of their overall pie, right? And that might seem like it's nothing, and so why bother? However, the center point of the ecosystem has always been and will always be the computing devices. And you can get a false sense of how well the computing devices are selling or not selling by looking at the numbers year over year. But the majority of people don't buy a new computer every year. So
Exactly. You're
so
absolutely right. They don't.
so some people are keeping these MacBook Pros or iMacs or whatever. They're keeping them for 5 and 6 years.
Yes.
And they're still the central hub of their ecosystem, right?
Yes. Keep going.
But if Apple keeps making crappy products that fail, people are going to hear about this and they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to invest in Apple anymore because the keyboards on the laptops are not working anymore and they just keep going bad and the Bluetooth on the iMacs is bad and I just hear all of this stuff and they haven't changed the design of anything in 10 years." And
Okay. So, firstly, the Bluetooth on the iMac can probably be fixed with a firmware update, I'm guessing. So,
but it's been this way since like 2012. Bluetooth on the iMacs has sucked since 2012 when they went to the thinner design, or 2013, whichever it was.
Okay, so there's a few things to take into consideration here. Number one, none of the issues that you guys are talking about is anything even remotely equivalent to phone catching on fire, or even the recent issue with the Galaxy Fold, like just not working after 2 days. None of these issues that Apple had are even remotely close, which means at the core, the Apple products still do what they're supposed to do. They just work. Yes, there are issues and bugs, but at their core, they still just work. And Jason, as you just stated, I brought the point earlier about the Apple ecosystem. Well, you just stated at the center of that ecosystem is the computing devices. And people who, like you said, are not buying computing devices year over year. They're keeping them 5-6 years. So as long as they have an Apple computing device in their home, they are going to continue to buy iPhones and things like that to stay within that ecosystem because they know the ecosystem just works.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point, but that's why that's part of the reason why I said that the point down the line where Apple really starts to show how far it's fallen is going to be in a 5-year cycle. We may already be a year into that 5-year cycle at this point.
Roberto said the rent's too high.
Yeah, the rent is too damn high.
But Roberto, you're not thinking about the fact that most of these phones on sale today are being paid by monthly payments. They're not be paying like nobody really pays for the whole phone up front. They're paying monthly for it. So usually they end up paying like half the price of the phone, and then they're getting a new one the next year or the 2 years after that. So while the overall retail price might be sky high, the average consumer paying like what $50 a month for the iPhones, or $30 if you got the iPhone 10R. So they never see that price.
It's still not a little bit of money.
No, it's not. But it's a lot. Like think about $30 a month versus paying $1,200 for a phone. It's a lot easier to swallow when you think about it in monthly payments.
Yeah, well,
plus, as Greg alluded to here, sent me a Twitter DM. The iPhone brand is still like one of the strongest brands on planet Earth. So that ain't changed.
It hasn't changed yet. Hasn't changed yet. Yeah, as Roberto says, so let's say you got a family of 5, and each one of you gets a new phone, right? So not only are you looking at $150 for the plan because you got 5 people on it, but then you're looking at 40 and 50 and maybe 30 and 30 on top. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Roberto, that's a cute argument, but what you were failing to realize, whoa, Jason, what you got going on here? Your movie recording has stopped automatically? What the hell is that?
I didn't mean to be recording the movies.
Excuse us, people, technical difficulties on aisle 1. But Roberto, what you're failing to realize is that other phones don't have iMessage and Airdrop and things that connect families to each other. So yeah, the rent might be high, but like I said, the competition hasn't caught up yet with the ecosystem. Like, yeah, though, like if you put it like that, Roberto, yeah, the price is high, but we're talking about iMessage, which connects families together, and things like iMessage and FaceTime, which other companies don't have. So people are going to pay that high cost of rent so they can stay connected the best way possible.
Until there are enough problems that they decide it's not worth it to stay, even though there are those value added pieces.
I mean, I completely understand. You make a very good point, but the problem is the competition had nothing to counter the Apple ecosystem. There's nothing out there that's better than the Apple ecosystem, even with all its problems. There's still nothing out there right now that's better. Like Jason, you probably won't agree with this, but you just made a video saying that you quit Apple.
Yeah,
I will predict in half a year you will be making a video saying you came back to Apple because you will realize that the ecosystem outside Apple ain't what it's crafted to be, and you'll be back.
it's possible.
It's more than possible, Jason. It's more probable at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
you can say that now because you just made the video, but when you make that second video, I'm gonna be right there in the comments like, I told you.
No, I mean, I've already had plenty of people in the comments tell me exactly that, and although they think it's going to be more like 2 weeks or something like that.
I'll give you a few months. I'll give you a few months.
But the thing is, like, my point in making that video was I don't want to play the reindeer games anymore. I don't want to be a part of what that company is all about right now. And so I'm taking my ball and I'm going somewhere else.
So the issue is that you are a creator and you have a certain workflow that you are used to. And how long are you going to put up with your workflow being interrupted and adding potentially more time to what you do normally because you don't want to be part of the reindeer game when you know there's a simpler solution out there that will maximize your workflow better than what you did?
Well, I mean, I've switched my workflow over to what I've used a lot in the past. I mean, I'm using Premiere, which in many ways is a much more adult style application.
Because I know my brain works like very fast. Anybody in the chat want to pull up a Jason tweet from the past about how Premiere crashes? There's a few of them out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does crash.
Tweet it to him. I'm just saying.
No, and Premiere Pro does crash. But I would rather work in that world and have it crash every once in a while than be a part of the Apple ecosystem right now.
And Jason went black because the camera realized that oh, you're having all type of issues with that camera tonight. See,
Yeah.
this is so ironic because what you're dealing with tonight is exactly what it's like working outside of the Apple ecosystem.
No, this is the same camera that I had when I was using the iPhone when I was using the iMac Pro. You know, so it's not that. It's not that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm using a consumer camera to try and do professional things. It's a bad idea. But you go through growing pains and sort of transitional hiccups here and there when you go from one thing to the next. And I feel like that I've been using PCs to do all my stuff for the past like 3+ weeks. So everybody thinks that I made that video and that was like the beginning of me not using Apple. But it wasn't. I haven't been using Apple for, going on a month now.
I'm just saying, bro. We've been down this road before. You've been down this road before, and it always leads you right back into the arms of Tim Cook and Apple.
Yeah, but this time I'm really pissed off.
You were pissed off last time too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this time feels different. I mean, maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't. Nothing's ever an impossibility, but I'm sick of the shit. Sick of it.
Oh, Tech Rant, please make that video. Oh, that'd be great. Tech Rant, the bad.
Don't worry, because I mean, there's already been people went into the comments of that last video, and they went back 8 months and they took all the titles of all the videos that I've made about Apple and put them all into one comment, and then people just kept re-commenting them.
Wow.
And it's funny though, because if you read the comments on that video, you would think that everybody hates everything about that video. Like that video is a piece of dog crap. But if you look at the like to dislike ratio, it's like 87%. Or at least it was when I looked at it a couple of days ago. So I mean, there's a vocal minority, is all I'm saying.
So, Mr. JTO, Jonathan has an audio engineer question for you in the chat.
Yes. Well, I'm using USB right now with there is a driver for the interface that I'm using right now, but it also works class compliant. So anything that's class compliant over USB is going to be fine. And I haven't had any problems with it thus far. And I've been recording my voiceovers and everything just like I have been, for all the time that I've been using Macs. So I gave up on Thunderbolt 3. That's what I gave up on. So
I see I got people in the chat getting triggered over my use of the word ecosystem. Well, it is what it is. You will hope the Apple ecosystem is undefeated. Anybody who has a group of Apple products that work together, they understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But if you're the only game in town when it comes to stuff like that, can you really be undefeated?
Yes, because
nobody's playing your game.
Because they can't play your game because you're the best at it. Oh my God. Thank you for proving my point. You just walk right into it.
All I'm saying is I see Apple in a bad place. And maybe nobody else is seeing it right now, but I see Apple in a not so good place right now. 2019 will tell the tale. If Apple comes out of 2019 with successful product launches and updates that they've promised, and keyboards that don't suck and all that kind of stuff, then they still have a chance. If they bungle their way through 2019 like they did 2018 and 2017, then they're going to be fucked.
Well, I made a video earlier this year that is titled "I Don't Care About iPhone 11," and I don't. And the reason why I don't care about iPhone 11 is because I'm more worried about iOS 13 and how it may or may not improve using the iPhone. I think with especially with the emphasis on services that Apple has going on now, I think it's more important than ever to them to throw up any issues they have with iOS 13. And God knows there's issues I've identified over the past few months, but they need to clean up these issues with iOS 13, especially as it relates to productivity with larger screen iPhones and making the iPad Pro more like actual laptop replacement as opposed to the fake laptop replacement that they are right now.
Right.
And I think we can go from there. But hardware later on in the year, I'm not too concerned about that right now.
It's interesting because I really feel like Apple has slept too long on iOS.
God Lord.
They've just been like, okay, we got a good thing going here. We got our rows of icons. We know that like the 60-plus-year-olds can poke the icons, and I think they need to move in the direction of not being so static.
Okay, I gotta break you. I gotta time out you for a second here. Sorry to interrupt, but Roberto, I'm at the clap back of Roberto real quick. So Roberto says that nobody outside of nobody in his family uses any Apple product. He says nobody in my entire family, including extended family, uses Apple except me and my brother. Now, Roberto's point is that the Apple ecosystem is irrelevant. That is a cute argument, except for the fact that 60% of homes in the United States have an Apple device in them, Roberto. So do you still think the Apple ecosystem is irrelevant, knowing that 60% of houses in the U.S. own an Apple device? 60. Over 60 probably now. Probably 70 now. So we really going to sit here and say the Apple ecosystem is irrelevant, knowing that over half the homes in this country have an Apple device? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, Roberto. We're not playing that game tonight, bro. We're not doing that. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, my daughter has an iPhone, and my daughter has an iMac or a MacBook Air. But that's not tying my family into the ecosystem.
Not necessarily, but like I said, 60% of the people in this house in this country have an Apple device, at least one, and they probably have more than one if we're being serious. So that's the start. I mean, it doesn't mean ecosystem, but it's the start.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And
right.
I'm looking at Greg's percentage there too. 84% of teens plan to purchase an iPhone. I'll be interested to see. My whole point is if 2019 goes like 2018 and 2017, then Apple is fucked.
I don't think we can even begin to even say that unless the iPhone start catching fire. But other than that, I think Apple will be fine. But
no, I mean it's just been a process of like consecutive failures and underperformance in the design department.
Okay. So you say failures and underperformance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you underperformance, but what are you citing as failure?
The laptops. The laptops. I mean, there are other things that I complained about before that I might not be remembering right now. But yeah, I mean, they have products that are failing, and I did see Greg's post before about Windows computers failure rates being higher than Apple's failure rates, but that's like saying every car has a higher failure rate. Every car manufacturer has a higher failure rate than like one car manufacturer.
But here's the thing: I don't even think bad keyboards is a failure. I mean, that's something that could be fixed and done with. And Apple actually has.
Oh no! There are so many people out there who have had their keyboards replaced like 3 and 4 times. This is a total fucking nightmare. It's a total nightmare. That app, like Tim Cook, is just out there like with a. I don't know how he keeps that smile on his face. I don't know how. I mean, maybe he has something in his pants. I don't know.
Oh Lord!
But this is not the Apple that I fell in love with.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you. Like I actually didn't we actually me you and John Proctor made a video a long time ago talking about this very thing about how Apple had changed under Tim Cook. So I'm not arguing about that, but to say that they have abject failures, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the keyboard were bad, but was that really like a failure per se? I don't know.
Yes, it was. When you start to have to do, when you fix the keyboard twice, and now the situation is so bad that you have to start fixing them in the store because because there are too many to send back and get fixed at like the whatever repair station they have. So I think when that starts to happen, when you've got that much failure, yeah, it's pretty significant. And I would venture to guess, although I haven't seen the numbers, that the MacBook lineup is probably the best selling amongst the Apple computers. And if your best selling computing product is failing at a rate high enough that you have to prioritize the repair of these things in the stores, then it's not looking good.
I think I like Travis England description of it better than failure. He says it's a defect. I tend to agree with that more than I would say it's a failure.
A defect is something that it's like an imperfection in manufacturing process. This is a design failure. This is a design failure. A defect is something that accidentally happens every once in a while, but when you have something that's happened over and over and over again for 4 years running, 3 years running, then it's a failure.
Okay. Yeah, I can't argue that. Like you said, it's happened 3 years in a row now. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not arguing the keyboard. Can't argue that anymore. But still, I don't know. Like, but even with the failure, people are still using MacBook Pros. Those very MacBook Pros that are failing, people are still using them though. So,
but my point is, eventually they'll be like, "Fuck this! I'm getting a Surface."
no, eventually, Apple will change the keyboard design to go back to the old scissor hand, or they'll create something new. I'm hoping, or whatever. I don't know. They'll figure it out before that.
They did the same thing with these keyboards that they did with the Mac Pro. They're like, we're going to show how good we can design shit and make things thin. And then they'll see we can still do that kind of thing. And they totally screwed it up. And then they totally screwed it up again. And then they totally screwed it up again. So they have totally screwed up many times just on this one issue. On this one issue. And they continued to sell the friggin' Mac Pro.
Ooh, actually, Greg Gadget and Tech Red bring up a very good point in the chat. You just said that people would quit the service, but you yourself had a service and you returned it.
Oh, I got another one now.
Oh, you got another one. Okay.
Here's the thing. Like, it's not as easy to compare the MacBook line to the Surface line. Okay? Because the Surface line is really 2 generations in. And how many generations of the MacBook have they had? So Apple has a ton of institutional knowledge. They're not starting from square one. They're just repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Yes, the Surface has had issues. However, I think it's a more promising piece of tech than the MacBook is right now.
But what they're saying is that you brought a Surface and you returned it because whatever reason you didn't like it and you went back to your MacBook.
The Surface that I had an issue with the screen reattaching when you take it off in tablet mode.
Actually, didn't you buy 2 of them?
Yeah.
And
there was another problem with the other one too.
Both of them. So the grass ain't always green on the other side. You know.
But see, that's. I mean, I will freely admit that Surface products have had problems along the way. I'm not going to dispute that. However, like my sort of N of one experience is not like a representative measure of anything that has anything to do with the overall quality of those products. I do know I know that they have had problems.
Wait. Repeat that last line.
Which one?
The one you just said about overall quality of product, something.
So if I got two surfaces and I took them back because they had two separate problems, I mean, you have to adjust for the fact that like I have an addiction to buying things. So that's part of it. But I took them back. I got a MacBook Pro, and then I got rid of the MacBook Pro. Then I got another MacBook Pro. Then I got an iMac Pro. My experience is not typical. Like you can't look at me as anything representative of a typical user. And if I'm a typical user who buys a MacBook Pro once every 3 years or 4 years, and it starts to fail 6 months or 3 months into the life of having the computer, I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed. And it only takes a few, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? So I think people will start voting with their feet. If Apple can't fix this, if 2019 does not fix all ills and have them coming out with a new attitude about how they're going to do this shit, then they're in trouble.
All right. So you just said that we can't take your activities as a typical user. However, you brought two Microsoft Surface products and took them both back. I don't care what your use case is, you found a reason to take them back. They didn't work. And let's use me. I brought a Hisense 4K TV last year, and for whatever reason, it had light bleed at the bottom, so I returned it for another one. The second one had light bleed at the bottom, and I just kept it because I didn't feel like taking these big ass TVs back. I was just like, the hell with it, I'll deal with it. But if a product has a problem, a product has a problem.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like I may have inflated the nature of the problem just because I wanted to return stuff and get something new. Right? I'm it's a problem. It's not a good thing. I'm not proud. But could I have kept the Surface Book and if there was an issue with the screen attaching, could I have then like gone to Microsoft and worked through that way? Yeah, probably. And it probably would have been fine. But me being who I am, having the problems that I have, I just wanted to buy something new. So anyway, TechRan has a question here for me. Which equipment have you purchased has not failed and you did not return it? So what have I purchased that didn't fail and I didn't return it? Is that the question?
Yeah, he wants to know what equipment actually worked for you and that you're happy with.
Man, it doesn't even matter anymore. Like I keep stuff for 3 months, 6 months, and then I just kind of go and get something else. The number of times, can I tell you how many times I've had to delete iTunes signups so that I could sign up new devices? At least 2 or 3 times a year, I'd like go past my limit of iTunes signups, and I have to like re sign up and take away the other ones. So, I mean, is my iMac Pro a great computer? Yes. Do I want to continue to use it? No. Am I going to sell it? Yes. As long as what I'm using here, like I'm trying to be smart about it. I'm trying to like make the full switch and keep the full switch on for at least like 4 to 6 weeks, and then I will if this is working, then I'm keeping it basically. And I'm going to sell the iMac Pro. I'm going to sell one of my iPhones. I'm going to sell my iPad. I'm going to sell my Apple Pencil 2. I'm going to sell all the little doodads that they tricked me into buying.
It's your boy.
All the little doodads.
This your boy Vyyyper, the man about tech, and I'm here to tell you all that none of that stuff is going to happen. It won't even get to that point because Jason's going to come to it and realize that the Apple ecosystem is where it needs to be. It won't even get that far. We're not going to get to that point.
See, I can't, but I don't. None of the things in the Apple ecosystem really matter to me. Airdrop is cool, but I can just email shit to myself. I mean,
did you really just compare Airdrop to emailing yourself? Really?
It's just as fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The problem, I'm a little loud, but the problem with that is you have to email it to yourself, but then you have to get it out of your email, whereas Airdrop's just placing the right where you need it, pretty much.
Well, usually what I'm sending via airdrop or email is stuff that I need from my camera, say photos or video footage, that just goes straight into it. Either goes straight into my email box, which then I can download straight from the email and put it in the folder that I needed to go into, or it goes to the downloads folder for airdrop, and then I have to put it in a folder. So I'm not going to email myself a 10 gigabyte video. No.
I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know anymore.
It's because if I'm filming a video on a camera, then more often than not, I can just take a USB cable and stick it in the camera and download it on whatever computer I'm using.
Okay, but that's video files and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's other things that you can do with AirDrop, right? Or is that all you do?
That's all I do. Yeah, I mean, my email's hooked up to my Google Drive, so I can either like take it from the email and put it in the Google Drive, or I can download it straight to my computer. I mean, I only use AirDrop to send things that from my phone to my computer, and I can do that in many different ways that are equally as fast and easy.
I'm gonna pretend like Roberto Blake just didn't compare AirDrop to Google Drive and Dropbox. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore that comment from Roberto Blake. I'm not pretending like I didn't even see that because that's madness. Are there alternatives? Yes, but can you compare them to AirDrop? Hell no. Come on now, Roberto. Stop it, man.
USB drive, just a little one of those little USB sticks.
Now, the thing that I do with my Sony camera is I plugged in, like you touch it, and I plug in the USB from the camera straight into the computer and then transfer the files that way.
Right.
Because that's the best way to do that. So that's doable because you can't AirDrop stuff from the camera per se. But yeah,
no. I mean, I don't know what else I would need to get off of my phone via AirDrop. So can somebody tell me like what other things AirDrop is good for?
I mean, I use it for pictures and video mainly.
Yeah, that's what I do. Is there any other use for it?
Documents, I guess, if you are inclined or you have documents on your iDevices, but
I don't know, man. I think everybody uses Google Docs at this point, right?
Probably.
So, I mean, there's no reason to actually. I mean, when you talk about file management, if you're sending one document from your phone to your computer, then you've got 2 copies of the document. Which one is the one that you're going to use? So it's much more easy to keep it in something like Google Drive and have everybody work off the same file than it is to like send it manually from person to person.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Okay. All right. File Go is AirDrop for Android. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Pictures, videos, audio recordings, says Tech Rant. Yeah, Genosis says he had a back and forth with Zach about AirDrop versus USB, and his opinion was that they're equally easy, and I'm of that same opinion. So Jeff Dayton says I ditched the Apple ecosystem recently, and the only thing I miss is iMessage. My Note 9 syncs up quite well with my Alienware laptop through Alienware Mobile Center. Yeah. I don't even miss iMessage. There's no use. I don't have any use at all for iMessage.
Now that I can believe because I don't even text that many people myself anymore. That I believe.
I mean, I text my friend who I play video games with. I text my wife, my daughter, sometimes on my mom. I've got no need for huge lists of people on like on one big message thing.
And just because I'm feeling petty tonight, the one person that I try to never mentioned me back, John Prosser, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, he's difficult. He's difficult that way sometimes.
I gotta take a shot. I love that dude.
Yeah, he may be lurking. He may be lurking.
He might be.
You never know.
I gave him the link, so
yeah. So Roberto says when I'm doing photo shoots at conventions, I can move shots from my camera to my phone, to the models pretty quickly. Yeah, I can see how that would be useful too. But I know people love it. People love this word. This is one of my favorite words. That's sort of a niche usage of the tech. I mean, it's like, you remember when Samsung had the bump ass feature?
The Android Beam or the F Beam. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who used that?
Nobody.
Nobody. And AirDrop is convenient for certain people who do certain things, right? But I would venture to guess that the majority of Mac users don't use AirDrop.
I don't know. If they have an iPhone and a Mac, like I said, the transferring to pictures and videos, and I mean.
But here's the thing: like, if you have an iPhone, then you have iCloud, and if you have iCloud, then all your pictures are already there.
Yeah, probably.
No, they are. I mean, it's
if you use iCloud library, what the hell that is.
Yeah. I mean, does anybody not use iCloud stuff at this? I mean, I can't imagine not using it.
I don't use iCloud library for photos and stuff like that. I don't do that.
So you can just keep them on your phone? Man, I had a situation once when I was recording a record for a band, and I didn't have very good backup protocol at the time. And so one morning, Sunday morning, I was going down to the studio to start working on the mixes that I've been working on. And as I approached the control room, I heard this sound. Hard drive had died.
Ooh, ouch.
Hard drive in unrepairable, just dead. Last time I had saved was when we finished tracking. So I had to go back and do 2 weeks worth of mixes and just start from scratch there. From that time onward, especially once the cloud became a thing, I made sure that nothing existed only on one thing. So, yeah, because I've been in like mobile phone stores when people come in, they're like, can I get my pictures off? And they're like, I would just be like, you want to do what now? Aren't your pictures already someplace? I watched this video from CBC in Canada, right, where these people went on vacation or something like that. Anyway, their iPhone died and they hadn't backed it up, right? Their iPhone died. They hadn't backed it up. And they went to Apple and Apple was like, nope, not recoverable. But then there was some woman who had like started a little business of her own, sort of like a Louis Rossmann, but not as annoying, where she would take the hard drives and get the stuff off it, and it was eminently possible to do it. Apple just didn't want to do it. But all I could think of as I was watching it was, why is this even an issue? Why aren't your photos just automatically backing up to the cloud?
Because, Jason, there's certain photos you don't want to put on a damn cloud. If I could be serious for a second here.
I guess that's not a problem for me.
Yeah, no response.
That's not a problem for me. It's like, oh, picture of my child, picture of my, dog, whatever, picture of my car.
You know what? That might not be a problem for you, Jason, but you'd be surprised just the sheer amount of people that's actually an issue for it. So yeah, everybody doesn't want their photos on the cloud. I'm just saying. Especially given what happened in 2014 with the whole iCloud hack thing and all that, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, that's like stupid, right?
Why is it stupid though? I mean, it's life.
No, I mean, if you're gonna take those kinds of photos, then you better take them off and put them somewhere else. Because basically, if you don't want it seen by the world, then you better make it be someplace where the world can't get it.
Yeah, usually on your device.
No. Your device is open to everything.
What do you mean? What do you mean your device is open to everything?
I mean, you're connected to networks all the time. Your Wi-Fi is all over the place. Your phone is always talking back and forth with everything, right? So if you want photos of a sensitive nature to not be at risk of getting out there, then you should probably take them off your phone and put them on something like a hard drive.
Talk about. I got to jump in the chat real quick. So we got this dude, Pino, says, Vyyyper, be a man and tell it to the guy and stop caving into everything he says to try to throw an apple. Have you been paying attention for the past hour, dude? We have been going back and forth for the past hour, bro. Where you been? You need to wake up, baby. I don't need you to pay attention, baby. I need you to pay attention. Wake up. Me and Jason argue practically every time I'm on here. It's never just a homie conversation between me and Jason. It's always some type of argument.
Yeah. I mean, you can agree on some things and disagree on other things and have a what do they call it? Like civil discussion back and forth. While not just lockstep agreeing about everything. This is not the MAGA world, right?
No. Oh Lord.
This is not MAGA world where everybody has to think the same thing and do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so we can have a boisterous discussion about the things that we may or may not agree about.
Absolutely. Make for a better podcast.
Yeah.
So your bud Colin said, why Vyyyper? Why do you wear shades indoors? It's branding, man. It's all part of my brand, bro. If you want to know the actual story though, for the first, I think 2 or 3 months of my YouTube career, I didn't wear shades. But then I ended up watching a Casey Neistat video where he explained why he wore shades. And the reason why he wears shades is because he doesn't have to look directly at the lens when he's shooting videos. Right. I noticed that I was having trouble staying focused on the lens when I was doing my videos in my early days. So after seeing that Casey Neistat video, I decided to give it a try. And I've been shades ever since. It's a beautiful thing when you don't have to worry about where you're looking at. Lovely.
Yeah. I should try it, but I won't.
You're pretty good though. You're pretty locked on the lens when you're doing your video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I'm doing a teleprompter thing, I have to be, because the teleprompter is right on the lens.
You're the wizard of scripting thing. That's right.
Yes. Yeah, we were having to talk about scripting things on
I saw that. Yeah.
Twitter earlier today. It's not easy to do. Sometimes I really like a script. Like it helps me feel if I have a script and I'm going to shoot like the next day, then I don't stress over the video because I know I've got my script. But if I don't have a script and I know I have to shoot a video that day, then I kind of stress. So I like having a script. I probably use a script like maybe 80% of the time.
And I think you made a suggestion on Twitter to I think it was Everyday Dad who was thinking about not using a script. You were telling him to use bullet points, and that's what I do. I don't script anything, but if I have a long video that I'm doing and I want to remember what I want to talk about, I use bullet points.
Yeah,
and black again.
And it takes a while. Oh, I'm out again. Jeez
Louise.
Yep. All right. I'm not recording. What I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with this thing. I don't want to have to buy a new camera.
You've been saying that for the past month, Jason. It's time to maybe think about it.
See, the easiest thing to do, and I need a second camera for like, overhead shots and that kind of thing. The easiest thing to do would be buy another M50.
Mm-hmm.
But the M50 is the camera that's having this problem. So it's like I don't necessarily want to buy another M50. And I've thought about buying like just a cheap like handycam thing, just using that for like the live stream camera. This is a failure. I think the HDMI port in this camera is failing. I'm not going to get the A7 III because that's too much money.
That's overkill.
And I don't really like the images that I get out of Sony cameras.
And Jason went black again. Oh man, Jason is over there recording like he's in the Battle of Winterfell over there.
Now I'm just stuck.
Oh yeah, and I wow, he is having the time of it today. I think this is the cue where you go get a new camera, Jason. I'm just saying, if we're being painfully honest.
Yeah, well, I get paid the YouTube money tomorrow, so I guess I'll have to go do that. What do you think though? Should I? Okay, I'm gonna switch cameras. This is gonna suck because the camera that I have to switch to is awful.
Oh, we're going to potato mode. Okay, I'm ready.
Yes, there we are.
Oh God, that is the severe potato mode. Okay. But hey, it's better than having to mess with it every 5 seconds, though.
Yeah.
And yes, the A7 III is overkill, bro. Like for me, it's overkill, but I love it anyway. So who cares?
See, here's the thing that I've come to learn about tech people.
Yep.
Tech people just love tech.
Damn right.
And so it's very rarely about like, should I get this or not? Like, especially guys who are way into cameras, they're always like, I want the camera thing. I would love to have a C200 for sure.
That's the thing though. I'm not even into camera, but when I got this A7 III, I was like, damn. Like this camera's amazing. Like, wow. But do I need it? Absolutely not. I mean, this is complete overkill for me, but I'm not getting rid of it. So hell that. But Matt.
Yeah, I mean it's the same for me. It's the same for me. Like this camera has been working great, and as a camera, it still works great, right? But now we're starting to see the problem with using a consumer grade camera in pro applications where problems can occur.
Indeed. So Matt Lowry,
I'm sure this.
You want to know what my daily
Matt
driver
Lowry?
is? I use an iPhone.
All right, let's have
you're going now.
Talk
You're buying
about this. Okay, we don't say daily driver here.
Well, and now you're going in and out, Jason.
What's your phone of regular usage?
So the phone that I use regularly is an iPhone XS Max, but I also have the Galaxy S10 Plus. So there you go. And I carry I carry both of them every day when I go to work. Don't have to buy.
The S10 Plus. Not that anybody. Well, somebody did ask if I still had my S10 Plus, and I do. And I've got my iPhone XS Max.
Roberto says all he does is overkill. So Roberto, what cameras are you using currently? I'm curious. But yeah, now you're botting in and out. So I don't know what's going on with you over there tonight, Chase.
Well, you're kind of chopping up too, so I don't know. Maybe it's the connection for the hand. Who knows?
We won't have any issue with the other camera now. We switched cameras, and now we're having botting issues. This is interesting.
Yeah, I can turn the other camera back on. I mean,
okay. So next topic, we are going to talk about the Powerbeats that are going on pre-sale this week. The Powerbeats Pro, which I think are they're worthless, but hey, that's just my opinion. What do you think about the Powerbeats, Jason?
I don't.
You don't like them, all right?
I've never liked the Powerbeats. I've never liked the Powerbeats. I've tried, I think, at least 2 versions of Powerbeats in the past, and they sound like actual dog crap in your ears. So am I excited about the new Powerbeats? There's a possibility that there's a possibility they will sound better because they're going to get the H1 chip, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? But there's also a chance that they're going to sound like Powerbeats sound.
God damn, Roberto, really? You use all those cameras? What the hell are you, a director? What are you filming a Hollywood?
Roberto's going to let me borrow at least one of those
What do you film
cameras.
Hollywood flicks, Roberto? Damn, son. Good Lord. So yeah, my issue with the Powerbeats, other than the fact that they're priced at $250, which is $50 more than the current new AirPods, is that the Powerbeats Pro don't even come with a wireless charging case. How are you charging more money than the AirPods, which have a wireless charging case, and the Powerbeats Pro don't have a wireless charging case? Now I understand that they have a longer battery life and they have the earwigs and all that crap.
They are,
but
they're paying for Beats. That's what they're paying for.
We stopped paying for Beats years ago.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Apple's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's just applying the same. Well, I mean, Beats did this before Apple bought them, but they're just applying the same thing that they do with every other Apple product. It's like you pay a premium for the name, right?
What's going on here, because they are not worth more than the new AirPods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I haven't used the AirPods since I did my review.
You do photography. How many damn cameras do you need to do photography, though? I mean, goddamn, you only need one. You got like 700, Roberto.
Yeah, you've only got 2 eyes.
How many cameras do you need for photography, though? Jesus Christ, son. You know what? I'm not even mad, Roberto. I've seen your camera bag in person, and you don't mess around. So I ain't even mad at you.
Well, here's the thing. See, this is what I'm talking about. People love geeking out on this stuff. Eventually, you know, they get all the stuff that they geek out about.
If they can afford it, yeah.
Like I got to a point recently where I was like, okay, I could either buy more of the same kind of stuff, or I could stop buying stuff. And so I'm making this announcement. The month of May, I'm going to buy 0.
Wait, okay, you bought it out. 0. What are we talking? 0 tech product? What
0. For the whole month. No tech products.
Damn it, you keep going in and out. So what you're telling me that in May you're not buying any tech product. Did I hear that right?
That is.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I don't believe that, because I know you and I know how much you of a techie you are. But then again, nothing really coming out in May that you want to worth buying anyway. So you might be able to do it. You might be able to handle it. There's nothing coming out.
So something that I want to start exploring myself, and maybe on the channel if it works branding wise, is getting more into the minimalist thing and do a while. So I went minimalist with my clothes. I only wear black, and I got rid of everything else. And so now I'm gonna and just have a month of purging, a month of like just no purchasing.
Okay, this conversation is getting increasingly difficult because you keep going.
I mean, they'll. Yeah, I don't know why. Because I switched back to the other camera, so it wasn't the camera.
And you froze again, and now you back. So when you say minimum, what about wallet? What are you doing for wallet?
Well, right now I just
I got
like this is my wallet.
Okay.
My iPhone case.
I guess that could work. I would might I suggest looking at the Rich wallet.
Yeah, I do want to check that out. I checked that out. I was looking at an everyday carry video by this channel, Exercise Me. Like he seems to do a lot of those videos. I mean, if he does a lot of videos on everyday carries, then they're not really everyday carry, right?
All right, so you cut out. So I heard you said saying that they're not really. If he does videos about everyday carries, then what now?
If he does so many everyday carries, then there can't be every day, right?
I mean, if he does a video every day, then technically it could be classified as everyday carry. I don't know, but I have a Rich wallet myself. I love it. I've had it almost a year now, and I love it.
Yeah. I need to get some. Like I'm still a carry my wallet in a hip pocket kind of guy, and so I worry that those hard wallets would hurt my butt.
Okay, you brought it out after you said I worry. So what came after worry?
That the hard wallets would hurt my butt. All right. So here's what I'm gonna leave the call and try and come back and see if we get a better connection.
You want me to leave or you to leave?
I'll leave.
If you leave,
and then I'll come back because it wasn't like this before.
Only like stop the call.
We'll see. All right. Well,
all right. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Hello. Hello. Oh, Jesus. I hate my life right now. Back to the Brio. Okay. Hi, can you guys hear me? Yes? No? Yes? Hello? Tommy, can you hear me? Okay, good. Vyyyper, are you going to come back in here or what? Yeah, there must be, it must be the Google Hangout connection because I haven't changed anything except for my camera, which wouldn't affect.
Hangout because
My chalice.
I was waiting to see how the connection worked without me in there. So, but yeah, we're having a problem regardless. So. Okay. Still choppy. I don't know either.
I don't know.
I forgot to make the best of it.
I don't know. What'd you say?
Woo!
Oh boy! Oh boy! So
I don't know.
Be able to
it's gonna
continue?
be. I mean, I guess we can try. It's gonna be pretty freaking difficult with the content cutting in and out, but we can see what we can do here. Because this next conversation is gonna require some content back and forth. I don't know how this is gonna work. But I guess we can try.
So OBS. Streaming straight from OBS would be the way to fix. Yeah, would be the way to do this without having to use Hangouts. But it's a little bit more intensive on the setup. But can you like on the front
call
end.
Somebody into OBS though? That's the other thing.
Well, what we could do.
And he cut out again. Oh, he's really out. Oh wow. Hello. Oh, he is black on the thing and frozen in front of me here on the Hangout. Oh boy. And Jason is down for the count, y'all. So, welcome to the Painfully Honest Vyyyper podcast. I'm your host, Vyyyper, tonight, while our host, Jason, is having technical difficulties. Sit back, relax, consume your headphones, crank up the volume, and hang out with your boy, Vyyyper. Can you guys hear Jason, though? Because he is completely frozen on my end. Can you guys hear? Is he talking? Can you guys hear him? Because I can't hear anything. And he's completely frozen in front of me here on the Hangout. So I think Jason is out for the count here. But if we can get back to business at some point. Okay, so it's just me. So I am currently carrying the podcast. All right. So if we can ever get Jason back in here, you all, some of y'all might have to leave because we're going to be talking about Endgame and Game of Thrones. And I know some of y'all probably have not seen Endgame yet. So you all are going to have to cover your ears or take a hike, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I know you guys can hear me, but he's like frozen and out of and down for the count. So, yeah. Ooh, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, he's gone. He is completely gone. Wait, what's going on? Wait a minute. Did he end the call? Did you guys hear me? Like, it looked like he ended the call here. Oh, no, he dropped out. Okay, wow. That's interesting. Hopefully he can come back into his own podcast. It is truly now the Painfully Honest Vyyyper podcast. Nuts. Tech Grant said Endgame made him want a cheeseburger. I don't know if I was that emotionally invested into it. The first 2 hours put me to sleep, Tech Grant, to be honest with you. The last hour was amazing, but the first 2 hours was just like, what are we doing here? But y'all know what got me though. Y'all know what got me. Game of Thrones. Oh my God. I am still crunked off of what happened on Game of Thrones, y'all. I mean, damn. Oh, it was 1.5 hours of the best cinematic television of all time with the single best television scene in the history of television. I don't care what nobody says. Nothing compares to what happened on Sunday night in Game of Thrones. And for my money, the Battle of Winterfell was better for me than Avengers Endgame. Like, I enjoyed the Battle of Winterfell a lot more than I enjoyed the Battle Endgame. I know that's an unpopular opinion upon you, Marvel nerd, but I don't care because Game of Thrones was better. It is what it is. Tech Grant, their world worst battle strategy ever. Yeah, but it made for good television, though, didn't it, Tech Grant? Seeing the Dothraki ride out there and get their flames extinguished like uber quick. I mean, good Lord. Whoo. Myope, I'm gonna need you to stop hating on Arya, man. Arya is now a legend. She is a legend. She got her name etched in the Badass Hall of Fame, Myope. She is up there with the likes of Jack Bauer,
John Wick, James Bond. I mean, good Lord. Just with one move, Arya just got herself into television history lore, man. We will forever remember the name of Arya Stark. Oh, sorry, Myobi. No amount of hating is gonna change what happened on Sunday night, bruh. Arya is just a problem you got to deal with, bruh. You got to deal with it. So yeah. So I'm kind of wondering if Jason is planning on coming back to his podcast, or is this just gonna be me carrying the podcast for the rest of the evening? This is gonna be interesting. But yeah, I guess if you guys have any tech questions or any in-game Game of Thrones questions, I can handle them until Jason gets back. But yeah. Oh yeah, Janosin, that Arya move was amazing. Janosin, y'all slept, dude, but I didn't sleep early. I think I went to bed late that night because I was so amped, man. It was amazing, dude. It was like utterly amazing. Whoo. Wait a minute, David said, no way Chubby survived that last battle. I'm gonna assume you're talking about Samuel Tarly or Samwell Tarly. Yeah, I'm surprised he survived, dude. He should have been dead a few times, but yeah, he made it. But the funny part to me was when Jon Snow looked at him and then walked right by him. Like, man, I got time for you. That was hilarious. Jon Snow's like, yo, you might be my best friend, but I ain't got time for you, bro. Especially when you laying down on the job. My man Samuel's laying down on the job. Jon Snow was like, I got time for you, bro. That was funny. That was great. Oh man. Whew. But yeah, Arya. Oh, everything tech got jokes. I message him. I mean, I would I message him, but number one, I don't have his number, and number two, he left the Apple ecosystem. See, this is what happens when you leave the vaunted ecosystem. I can't I message you when you get kicked out your own podcast. This will teach him. This will teach that Jason. Don't diss the Apple. See. This is what happens when you leave the ecosystem, Jason. When you leave the vaunted Apple ecosystem, you get kicked out your own podcast. See, what you need to do, painfully honest tech, is you need to be painfully honest with yourself and get back into this Apple ecosystem where you belong, bro. I'm just saying. Oh, I am completely clowning him on his own podcast. This is great. This is too funny. Oh, yes. For those of you all that are listening to this on audio only, I don't know if you're going to put this on audio, but our host, Mr. Jason Lewis, is currently experiencing technical difficulties, and he is currently not in the podcast. Like, he's not here. So, yeah. He's not here, and the podcast is